I'm sure you've seen or heard about Eregi girls and a strange illness going on there. And this is not the first time in a girls' school. Remember, just the other day we had an issue with Mukumu girls with another strange illness, whereby MOH came out to say that it was not known disease, and then they later on claimed that it was Salmonella and Escherichia coli. I have my reservations. Although Escherichia coli can be able to cause what was happening in Mukumu girls, I am not sure. I was not the one who was handling that. But Eregi girls, now this can be either of the two things. Now, it can be pathological, meaning that it's a disease, maybe a viral or a bacterium, or a psychological problem. Now, I'm not going to go into psychological because that's not my area. I'll try to look into some of the things that can happen to the body that can cause what you're seeing there. And I'm going to go to the pathological side. Now, we have several things that can happen in the body. And by the look of things, you can definitely tell they have an issue with their coordination, meaning either their brains has an issue or the peripheral nerves. Now, remember, you have a central nervous system which coordinates every other activity when it comes to the muscles. And we have three types of nerves. We have the sensory and we have the intermediary that connects now to the motor. Now, the sensory usually take the impulse from your skin or any other sensory organ that you have. And then the intermediary will be the one that will connect between now the one that will come from the central nervous system to the muscle itself and not the sensory organ. Take, for example, something sharp on your skin. Now, your skin is a sensory organ. It has the sensory nerves. And after picking that impulse, it will take that to the brains, and all the brains will turn, that's something that can hurt my body. So now it will send a signal to the motor cells that will tell now, maybe it's my biceps, or maybe the muscles here, or whatever muscle that will be involved. Contract to remove your hand from that sharp object that's there. So that's how it happens. Now, when you look carefully at those girls, you might find that they have issues when it comes to walking, and to some extent, if you can tell, talking also is an issue, and even I've heard that they are not eating, something of the sort. Now, this is purely what I'm getting. I'm not there, so I don't have the factual information from the patients themselves, so I cannot actually pinpoint whether exactly this is the truth. So we are going to use this. There's a very rare condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome, and it gives similar symptoms like what you're seeing in those girls. I'm not saying that this is what they're suffering from, but it gives almost similar effects, all similar conditions. It's very rare, so I cannot speculate that it might be that one. No, I'm not thinking that it might be. We have so many other things that can give exactly what they're seeing in those girls, but let's first of all get to know this syndrome that you're talking about. Now, this condition usually caused by an autoimmune disease, and this is whereby you find that your immune cells are fighting the nerves, the peripheral nerves. And remember, you said that the nerves are very important when it comes to your coordination. Remember, you have cerebellum that's very important when it comes to now the coordination of the speech, the balance, the posture, and also you have the ears, the semicircular canals that maintains your balance. Now, if your nerves are not working perfectly, then you are going to lose your coordination. Let's go to the symptoms. Now, you start feeling like someone is trying to puncture your skin with either needles or maybe something like a nail, something sharp. So on your legs, usually start with your legs. And also it's usually followed by weaknesses. And this is basically from the legs. And then from there, it goes upwards slowly. And then it starts affecting your upper body, including your arms. And this usually inhibits your reflex. Now, we have unsteady walking. I'm sure you've seen this, unsteady walking and inability to walk. Now, especially going upstairs or downstairs, that becomes a really big challenge. You cannot be able to do that. Now, this condition also affects your facial movement. Now, the muscles that you have on your face. So the facial movement becomes an issue, and even talking and chewing. So when it comes to chewing, and this is where now you might find that I have seen people online saying that they are not even eating. So this can be one of them. I'm not saying that it is. I'm trying to give a plausible deniability here. Now, chewing become an issue because it's also controlled by muscles. Now, this affects your feeding. So you might find that they're not eating, or maybe they're not in a condition to eat. And they start getting double visions or unable to move their eye. So the eyes, if you can be able to move your eye, we have some muscles that are involved in that, so you are unable to do that. Now you start getting difficulties when it comes to breathing, and also you start having issues with your bowel and also your bladder. So because of that, it slows everything down, so you start having issues with that. Now let's go to the causes. Now the actual cause is not known, but there is a high correlation between what we are going to mention here and this condition. The patients who've had this condition have reported having what we are going to mention here, and the first one is a previous viral infection. Now we have flu, we have CMV or cytomegalovirus, we have something like Zika virus, and also COVID. It has been reported in some of the cases, and several other viruses. Unfortunately, we have COVID vaccine being mentioned in some of the cases, and also mostly JJ, which is Johnson Johnson, and also AstraZeneca. Another highly correlating factor is a previous episode of diarrhea or a respiratory infection. And also vaccination has been another factor that has been correlated to this infection. Now, how do this actually happen? Now we have theories around this disease when it comes to autoimmunity. Now the speculation here is, now maybe the virus or the bacteria or the vaccine that you are given, they always have a protein that is usually targeted by your immune cells, and maybe they might have something similar to your nerve cells, meaning that by the time, okay, we have antigen presenting cells, so they'll come and sense or maybe take a picture, in quotes, of the antigen and then go to the adaptive immunity, where they are going to find the B cells that will now form the antibodies that will come and start fighting off whatever they found. Now after antigen presentation, you might find that now the antibodies that were produced by the B cells will kind of attack the protein that came, and because this protein is similar to your nerve cells, now they are going to fight off the bacteria or the virus or the vaccine, whatever was used in that vaccine, and on top of that they're going to attack your nerve cells, and this is where you are now going to start getting the issues that we've seen previously. Now, do you have treatments? Now, for the viral infections, we definitely don't have, but we have some treatments that can be like a treatment, not a cure actually, but the prognosis for this condition is quite good because mostly people recover fully and they regain the control of their muscles. They can be able to walk comfortably. In very, very, very rare cases, people become paralyzed in very rare cases. So you don't actually need to worry because it's not highly associated that you recover fully. We have treatments that can be done, or you can be given something like a plasma exchange, whereby now the liquid part of your blood is taken out and it's being replaced with another one to try to remove off the antibodies that will continue fighting your nerve cells. So if you remove that, then you reduce the incidences of this happening. Another thing, we can confuse the antibodies or the whole immune system by giving a huge dose or a high dose of immunoglobulins. This is antibodies. We take antibodies, many of them, and then we inject into that person. So they're going to kind of make it slow down by confusing everything. So yeah, mostly that. So I'm praying that this be something that's not serious, because that's, yeah, they're suffering. Those people are suffering. And I really am not saying that this is the condition. So we're going to wait off on the MOH, Ministry of Health, to see or to tell us exactly what's the cause. And also, we need to have strategic measures when it comes to things like this. We need to start getting ready, especially our laboratories. We really need to have high-end laboratories that are well equipped, and also the human resource. We really need to have experts in the field. They can be able to rush there, and within some few hours they tell us exactly what's going on. We really need laboratories.